For our next speaker, she's called Dany. She's joining us from France. And I met her last week in the Big Booster International Accelerator. She was one of the mentors. And you know, when you meet someone and you're directly feel this energy flowing between both, adding value with every discussion, and you feel like, I need the community to meet with Dany because she has a lot to share, and I'm sure that she will share a lot of value with you tonight. Thank you, Dany, for joining.
Thank you, Andre. It's so good to see you again. And honestly, I think it's such a great opportunity to, share all of this positive energy. I've been following some of the conferences over the week, and I really, really liked the previous one. And we've been talking about being truthful and being confident in what we do. And yeah, I really liked all the conferences, really.
Thank you.
So
I'll give you the screen and the time.
Okay.
Go.
All
and
right.
Introduce yourself if you can.
Let me see. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the topic of my conference is the secret to mastering your communication on LinkedIn. I don't think there was another conference about digital marketing. That's my topic. That's my thing. And just to give you a few words about who I am. So I graduated from an MBA degree in web business in San Francisco, but from a French school, but just in San Francisco. I always had a strong interest for entrepreneurship since my mom built her own company. She was like one of the first French women that started her own company. It was over 15 years ago. I'm talking about micro companies, right? When entrepreneurship was just starting to boom in France. I've been working in startups, and I was communication manager in a healthcare startup, and then a digital marketing manager in another startup, which was in the sport industry. So I have been pitching a lot. I have been representing companies a lot. And 3 years ago, something happened in my life. I almost lost my dad. He got sick, and we were waiting for a transplant for him for a lung. And I just had started this amazing job as a digital marketing manager in one of these startups, and eventually he got the transplant. It was, really something. And at this moment, I really want to share this with you because it's something that completely changed my point of view of work and what work-life balance should be. And after that, I have decided to leave the company because my body was telling me, okay, enough is enough. I was getting sick all over and over again. And so I stopped and I went to Iceland. I went to Iceland because I wanted to be isolated from all this digital marketing and tech stuff and startups and everything. And over there, I actually realized that I loved what I was doing because local people were coming to me for help. They were asking me to help them with their logos, with their websites, with their flyers, their marketing. And so I came back to France. I came back and I decided to launch my own company. So since then, it's been 2 years. Well, I have been a digital marketing freelance and a pitch coach. So now I'm helping companies, individuals, teams to better sell and convince, and especially in the sport industry, because that's something that I really, really love. I also teach in schools, and I'm a mentor in some hackathons and some events, just like the one that we met in last week with Andre. And so what I want to share today is some really practical tips that you can definitely apply right now and maybe right after this conference. The real story of this subject is that some people in my surroundings, my family, my friends, my colleagues, if we can call that, and some of my clients were telling me, I want to use LinkedIn, but I really don't know how to do it. I don't know how to deal with that. And they had some ideas about how LinkedIn was working, but they were kind of wrong. And that's the reason why I want to share this with you. So you might be thinking, it's not 100% sure, but you might be thinking that LinkedIn and using LinkedIn for your business or personally can be time consuming. And I mean, I understand you, because when we see the consumption on social media and the time that we might spend sometimes on Instagram or Facebook, I can definitely understand. And some people say that LinkedIn is like the new Facebook for B2B, you know. People are sharing their achievements and they're sharing even sometimes personal stories, and maybe you don't understand why. So here's the problem. You see LinkedIn as a social media, while you should really see it as a professional network, a place where you can actually keep in touch with people, you know, build a strong network, meet people, use it as a social selling tool. We've seen this getting bigger and bigger the 2 and 3 last years. We've seen people talking about their projects, people talking about themselves, building their own brands. We'll talk about that later. And you really got to see it that way. And yeah, I was talking about branding, and definitely it is a medium for your communication. So I'm going to give you 7 steps to take action. I'll give you a resource which has a little bit more steps, but this is supposed to be a 15 minutes presentation. So I'm just teasing you a little bit so you can go and have a look at my resources. So here's the thing. First thing, you have to think of your target audience. Who is that? Who are you writing for? Who is the person that's going to read your post? Is it going to be your client? Is it going to be just colleagues? Do you want to be renowned in your sector, in your field? Do you want to be an influencer? Why are you willing to create content, you know? And in order to do that, what I suggest is to build your persona. That is something that we use in marketing. And here, as you can see, you have the name, the last name, you know what are his motivations, his goals, everything that he likes, you have his bio. And once you know all of these things, all of these characteristics, which are really, you know, precise, I mean, you have to think this through. Well, you will have some tools and some details in order to go and have a look in the search tool of LinkedIn of who they are. So let's have a look, because I'm giving advices, but of course we have to see LinkedIn. So here's the thing. Here, as you can see in the top left of the screenshot that I put, I've typed sport, because this is the industry that I am interested in. So here in sport, the company that I'm really interested is Sport Heroes, okay? So we go and have a look at that. Sport Heroes, here you can have everything, the website, you can have the people that work here. And then, well, now that I know who I am targeting, really, well, I can go and check it out. I can see all the people working in this company. And since I know who my persona is, I can add that person. Am I targeting CEOs? Am I targeting CTOs? Am I targeting entrepreneurs? Am I targeting content managers? I don't know. You have to think this through, okay? So that is the first tip I'm going to give you. Second thing, and this one's really important. What is your personal brand? What makes you different? How do people recognize you? You know, for Steve Jobs, he was always wearing his turtleneck, always, you know. Do you have a visual component that's added to your brand that, you know, are giving this impression of people like, hey, I recognize this person because, you know, she's the one that I met in Big Booster. And yeah, so on my brand here, I have this tagline, which is entrepreneur, sportive et enthousiaste. I have my logo, and this is not something that I had. My company is just 2 years old, but this was just created a few months back because I realized that branding was like essential. So I worked with a designer, and she did my all graphical elements. She worked on my logo, on the colors, because I told her, hey, I wanted to have this outdoorsy look. I want to show people that I'm flexible. So she said, okay, we're going to add a mountain because you're strong and you're standing tall as a mountain. And with this flow that you can see with the waves, we're representing the fact that you're flexible. And I told her, you know, I want people to understand that I'm someone who's, you know, very positive, and I have all this energy that I'm giving, and it's really something that I'm selling. You know, I tell people that I'm enthusiastic, and I wanted it to be seen through my brand. And we chose yellow because yellow represents optimistic, you know. So to build your personal brand, think about this. What is your vision? What do you want to do? What are your core values? What do you trust? What do you think? What do you believe in? What is your tagline? If you do not have one, it's not, I mean, it's okay. What is your graphical universe? If you go to my profile, you'll see that I have this outdoor picture because I want to work with people and with companies from the outdoor industry. And we were talking about that, the accessory or cloth. If you can see it, I'm actually wearing this yellow shirt that I'm wearing in this picture. And I always want to have those Pepsi colors, either yellow or really, really red. So that is something that's really part of my brand, you know. And how do you communicate on LinkedIn and when you're interacting with people? What's the tone? Are you in a conversation? Are you just giving information? Do you use emojis or not? I know that sometimes people can say, hey, this is just for young people, right? But it adds really something. It adds emotion to just something that usually is a text. So here's the example of my personal brand. You see, I was telling you about the outdoor look of the universe, the visual components that I have in my communications. Number 3, how do you write a post? I mean, copywriting is really something that you have to work on when you're on LinkedIn, because maybe you've tried posting something and it really did not work well because you had maybe 2 or 3 people liking your post. But here's the thing, the algorithm is changing a lot, like a lot. And just lately we had an update that is going to change everything for a lot of people. We had the chance recently to have amazing reach, to have people that do not even know about us liking our content, and now it's going down back again. But here's the thing. You can, when you write a post, start with a catchphrase, something that's really gonna, you know, attract the attention to the person that's on his feed. Because, you know, there's always see more that, there's always that small link that you have to click if you want to read everything. And then use storytelling. It's really something that I highly, highly recommend, also as a pitch trainer. Whenever you talk about yourself, whenever you are truthful to yourself, whenever you share something personal, your thoughts, your experiences, when you are talking about your emotions. I mean, I know that in companies, emotions have been a lot, you know, repulsed, but embrace emotions. And what did you learn from it? And just finish with a call to action, comment with that. Okay, I can see the time going through. I'm just at the half, but yeah, we'll go through it. Here's an example of a post that I've written sharing a personal anecdote. This is me almost 10 years ago. Yes, that was my first internship. Even if the picture is not looking good, the story is real. And the fact that I was being very honest gave me more than 10,000 views, and I was only reaching 300 when I was not using this storytelling technique. So less is more. Post less, but better quality. Be consistent. This means choose one topic. Do not talk about different kind of topic. For me, it's digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and the pitch. You're like the chief editor of your own media, you know? So you have to think about the tone, the message you want to share, and the visual elements, the different components. This is also going to your branding section, right? Be relevant and show quality. Try to show quality by sharing something that is useful to people that are following you, that is usable. Like, for example, the previous speaker shared with you his resource, and he said that you're going to get a checklist. This is something that you can directly use. This is something that is useful, that is quickly applicable, and something that teaches you something. He's like, he got it 100% right. And he brought you emotion by telling you the way that it's going to help you, you know? So if you use all of these key components when you're communicating, it's going to work. And if it does not work, if it does not react, then you have to think again about your tone, your copywriting, and the message that you try to send. And here we're coming to the most important part: stay human. Andre said that when we met, you know, it was during this event, Big Booster last week. It was only last week, but he really marked me, and I told him very honestly, and you'll see that actually I have a screenshot. I do apologize, Andre, for that, but but I mean, you got to be honest with people. You got to be truthful. You have to give a good impression if you want people to remind, to think about you and to remind you, to remember you. And this is always something that I've applied in my life, in my personal and professional life, because the people that I have today in my network are people that I've either met online or physically, but I've always talked to them. I have always tried to interact with them. And that's really something that's going to make the difference in your network. I mean, do not add everyone or anyone. We're human. Do not send your pitch to people that don't know you. Do not send your pitch to people that do not even know what you're doing. And here's my tip. Last week, I was listening to this podcast and I really loved the content. And I contacted the guy that is hosting this podcast. And this guy has like this huge network, huge. And I tried to send him a request, and by telling him that his contents were really amazing. And I mean, I really was inspired, you know. And he replied, and he said, hey, let's have a call at the beginning of 2021. And I was, you know, shocked and surprised and so happy and thrilled at the same time. Because if you do really show people interest by having a look at what they do, like really what they do, I'm not just talking about their bio, I'm not talking about just their company, but what do they believe in? What are their interaction? But because you can actually have a look at what their interaction are on their profile, you go there and you check it out. But like really, that's how you connect with people. That's how you make really great connections, because you're interested into the person. And when you interact, they're like, hey, that person is actually interested in me. So that's, you know, the communication is going to be so fluid. And we're coming to the last part, which is more practical, okay? Here we have amazing screenshots. So I'm coming here with my, can you see my mouse? Okay, so here you can change your profile URL. This is something very important if you're working, for example, in digital marketing. Those keywords are actually helping me to get new clients. I am never, ever sending requests in order to look for a job. People are coming to me because I have this search engine optimization, let's call it that way, on LinkedIn. I have thought this through. As you can see, here we have digital marketing, here too, in my bio too, in my experience too. You have to think about some keywords. So in order to do that, you go here, you modify your profile and URL, and here you can add your keywords, okay? You can also add languages. My profile, for example, is in French and English, and sometimes we have a mix in one language. Do not do that. Try and do things, you know, the good way. You can also explain people how to pronounce your name. Here, if you go on this section and you use your smartphone with the app, you can tell it. I actually did it yesterday. It was quite fun, you know, because you have to be optimistic and enthusiastic when you're doing it, but it's just your name. So you can do it. You can optimize your bio here. Use it as much as you can. Tell people what you believe in here. Here, another functionality I want to share with you. You can share PDF by using a carousel format, you know. We've seen a lot of people in digital marketing and entrepreneurship and life coach sharing content this way. Instead of having like this huge post, well, you have short content, visual content. You know that we consume better content when it's visual, and you can see it quickly like that. So I highly recommend to use that. Use hashtags like you can see here. And did you know that you can actually go and have a look at the stats of your posts? So here I know how many people, how many views I had for my post, but I can also know that 47 people of Crédit Agricole, which is a French bank, have seen this post. I know that people from Decathlon, I know their posts, I know where. And this might be interesting as well for you to build your network in order to know, okay, so I see that, yeah, most of the people are from Paris. So maybe the topics are not the same in Paris or in Chambéry and or in France and Lebanon and other parts, you know. Andre, how many minutes do I have left?
How long do you need?
Let me see. I think I have 3 or 4 more slides, but it's really quick here.
Yalla, finish them.
Okay.
I don't want to let people be sad because I told you you're done.
Okay. So here's another thing that you already know, but it has changed in 2020. You can react in different ways here. You can bring support, applaud, etc., etc. And you can also send something in private. And this was not possible before. You could only share or comment or like. And yeah, by doing this, I mean, you're showing the algorithm that you're being active. So I'm not telling you that you have to post all of the time. If you're just active by commenting, posting, and sending these kind of things, LinkedIn is going to understand that you're a profile that is active, and it's going somehow to reward you when you try to post something. And here, I told you the screenshot with Andre. So see, this is the first message that I sent to him, and I'm 100% honest with you guys. I really, really love the feedbacks from Andre, and I really think that he's an awesome coach and entrepreneur and mentor for a lot of startups. And I kind of felt like he was my mentor too on the pitching side. You know, I'm still a junior, but yeah, it was such an honor to be with him. And anyway, back to the functionality. You can actually interact here by adding emojis, and this has come maybe a month ago. This is very, very new. You can use also the different automatic replies. And on the mobile app, you can send a voice message. This is something that we usually do on WhatsApp, and it's been added on LinkedIn because we use it more and more. And so we have other functionalities. There's a lot of things. You can share a poll. I mean, let's say you want to launch a training, but you do not know if you should go this way or that way. Just ask people. Just ask them. You know, don't launch your thing and realize that it was not the right thing. Just ask it and people will reply. And here's the end. I mean, it was so quick. There is so much to do on LinkedIn, so much to test, you know, and these were just 7 of the 10 steps that I've been working on. This is my strategy. This is the way I'm doing things. So now I would like you to take action and to have a look back at what we said and think about your branding, think about your vision, your values, and how you communicate on LinkedIn. Experiment and see what works best for you and what functionalities you want to use on a daily basis or weekly basis. And honestly, build real relationships, like real people that really want to connect, that really want to be available for you, that you want to work with, and that align with your values, just like Andre and all the people that are listening to me right now, and at Entrepreneur G. Thank you.
Thank you, Dany. I'm happy with your generosity. You gave a lot of tips and practical, actually, tips to everyone in the community. I know everyone had benefited from the tips and the value and experience that you have. Actually, I loved the slides, especially at the end. I saw the slide of the 5 forward, the post, and then our messages. That was interesting. Thank you for making it relevant to our community. That's also an advantage of being also always linking your ideas to your target audience. Thank you, Dany. Thank you for sharing the value. You have one giveaway. Can you tell us more about it?
I do have an ebook that I translated from French to English, especially for you.
Wow, that's generous.
Yeah, especially for Entrepreneurgy, and it has 18 slides and it has the 10 different steps and so much more details than everything that I just said. It's really in detail. So I will send this PDF to you and you can use it and take action from now on.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Dany. I really enjoyed the value that you shared with us. And I want from those who are watching now or the replays, please comment with thumbs up just to show your gratitude to Dany. Thanks a lot, Dany, and have a great weekend.
Thank you a lot. Bye. See you.
Bye, bye, bye. I love the way Dany ended her presentation by taking action. And as I usually say in my trainings and workshops, I say, knowledge without action is wasted knowledge. So please don't waste the knowledge from all these speakers.